You know that moment where your heart's racing, your thoughts are spiraling, and everything in you just wants to bail? Maybe it's a social event, a phone call, or even just sending that email you've been dreading. Your brain's like, let's not. And suddenly, cleaning the fridge feels more appealing than human interaction. If that sounds familiar, according to today's guest, that urge to escape is actually your invitation, not to run away, but to lean in. Welcome to ADHD Difference Strategies. I'm Julie Legg, your host, author of The Missing Piece and an ADHD advocate. Over the years, I've had the privilege of speaking with incredible guests, unpacking real life strategies, mindsets, and tools for navigating ADHD. This bite-sized series brings those insights together, short, practical, and ready to use. There's a perspective I explored with Dr. Jack Hinman on the ADHD Difference podcast that really challenged the way many of us think about anxiety. Because instead of treating anxiety as something to escape, he suggests something very different: lean in. Before we get into it, I'm going to let Dr. Hinman explain part of this in his own words.
You cannot grow unless you feel discomfort. And which means like reaching out to somebody or introducing yourself, making connections is going to feel uncomfortable. You have to get outside your comfort zone to build connection. You have to get outside your comfort zone to grow. And we really have to stop pathologizing typical anxiety. Anxiety is bad. No, anxiety is good. Like, it is okay. That's where you're going to grow.
Anxiety isn't the enemy. It's not something to suppress, fix, or hide. It's something to learn from. He says, when you feel anxiety, we should lean into relationships. Sitting in your anxiety teaches what you like and don't like. ADHD brains feel big. We're wired for emotional intensity, reactivity, and a slightly wobbly relationship with uncertainty. So when anxiety shows up, and it will, it's no surprise our instinct is to shut down, self-isolate, or ghost the world until the storm passes. But here's the thing: avoidance feels good short term, but it steals our growth long term. Anxiety actually has something to say. It can reveal boundaries, desires, discomforts, and values. It can show us what matters. And when you lean into connection, even just a little, you're building emotional tolerance. You're telling your brain, hey, this is uncomfortable, but I can handle it. I'm safe and I'm still here. And that is huge for ADHDers who often doubt their capacity to cope. Emotional regulation in ADHD. Well, studies show that ADHD is tied to challenges recognizing and regulating intense emotions. So it makes sense that anxiety hits harder and sticks around longer. But the research also tells us that connection supports regulation. Real in-person connection calms the nervous system, whether it's a friend, a partner, or someone who just gets you. Social support literally reduces stress. ADHDers who have strong interpersonal relationships show lower levels of anxiety and depression. Co-regulation is a thing. You know, when you're spiraling and someone else's calm energy sort of pulls you out of it? It's not magic, it's co-regulation. Your brain responds to their cues: the steady voice, the warm eye contact, the safe presence. It helps shift your body out of fight or flight and back into calm. The bottom line is ADHDers often struggle with self-soothing, but co-regulation gives us another way, a better way. When is the right time to lean in? Well, pretty much any time anxiety tries to run the show, but let's name a few. When your brain starts spiraling before a social interaction, When you feel the pull to isolate or ghost your group chat. When you're full of shame but don't know how to express it. When you're emotionally fried and just want to disappear. These are the moments to pause, not to panic or to push yourself, but to lean in imperfectly and bravely. You don't need a therapist in your back pocket. You just need a few micro moves. Prioritize face to face time. It doesn't have to be deep. A coffee, a dog walk, a 5-minute chat. Real presence beats perfect timing. Make eye contact, even briefly. I know eye contact can feel like an emotional MRI, but even a glance can activate trust circuits in the brain. Let it be awkward. You don't need the perfect script. You don't have to sparkle. Just show up, breathe, and be human. Watch and listen. Pay attention to tone, energy, and facial expressions. That's how we learn social cues, not from a textbook, but from people. Seek co regulation. When you feel dysregulated, borrow someone else's calm. That might be a friend, a partner, a pet, even a podcast host. Dr. Jack Hinman puts it beautifully. He says, you cannot grow unless you feel discomfort. And that doesn't mean pushing through panic or ignoring your limits. It means recognizing anxiety as part of the process and choosing connection over escape. So the next time anxiety whispers, maybe just pause instead, breathe, reach out, and remind yourself, I can feel this and still be okay. Connection is the strategy, and presence is the power. You don't have to face it alone. A big thanks again to Dr. Jack Hinman for sharing his perspective and for being part of the broader ADHD difference conversation. If you'd like to hear more from that episode, head over to our main series. You'll be looking for season 2, episode 34, to hear more of his ADHD insights. Links are in the show notes. Thanks for tuning in. For more practical tools for beautifully different brains, hit the subscribe button.